If you are looking for an upper body workout that's going to help you build some muscle, then stay tuned because you're in the right place. Morning guys, and welcome to this third episode of my Workout Wednesdays series that I've got going on for you at the moment. If you missed the first or second episode, I will link the first episode up for you now and then go check it out and then just go through it and see what's happened and see where we are now, okay? This session is a little bit different. It is a hypertrophy / endurance based session, okay? This is where we're going to get you some gains, alright? It's going to be, it's going to be intense. You're going to feel the burn. Your muscles are going to be pumped, okay? So I picked a style for this session, which is called pre-exhaust. If you haven't heard of that phrase before, pre-exhaust is basically a superset for, one muscle group. So for example, let's say chest. You will pre-exhaust the muscle with an isolation movement first. So in this case, it will be ischus flies on the cable, safer on the cable than dumbbells. And then so you pre-exhaust that muscle with the isolation movement, and then you go into what we call a compound movement, okay? Which will be, in this case, a press. So you use your triceps and your front delts as well. Reason being, so you, like I said, you pre-exhaust the muscle and then go into the compound to give the additional muscles, helping the chest to get them few extra reps, okay? So like I said, I'll just repeat that. So you pre-exhaust the muscle first with an isolation movement. Isolation meaning you are using the movement that uses one muscle group, okay? And then we go into a compound movement, when you're fatigued. Compound meaning using 2 or more muscle groups. So again, in this case, a chest press will be chest, triceps, and the front delts, okay? Does that make sense? Good. So I'm just going to dive straight into the workout and I shall see you on the other side. Right then, so I'm back with this all famous voiceover. I'm all for these voiceovers, but if you don't like them, feel free to tell me. But I started with straight arm pull downs, which is an isolation for your lats. So you can see my back is straight, my bum is stuck out, my elbows are fixed, okay? So first I lock down my shoulder blades, which will engage my lats, and then I'm pulling in the arc, if that makes sense, right into the crease of the hips. So it'll create like a C motion, and I just went to failure. I didn't count my reps. I picked out my 10 rep max, and I just went to failure, okay? Quick change of the weights, and then I tried to mimic a lat pull down the best I could. So wide grip, same position. My chest wants to be in bang line with the bar on the cable, okay? So my chest is bang in line and going through the same path, so to speak. Again, my back is straight, and as I pull through, I'm pulling right to my chest, and I want to try and tuck my elbows in as much as possible. And then I moved on to chest. So like I said in the intro, I started with flies. So again, this is the isolation. We started with the isolation every time. I didn't count my reps. I just went until I couldn't do any more. And with the flies, please, please, please forget about your wrists and concentrate on bringing your elbows together. That will get a deeper contraction on the chest. Okay, keep your shoulders pinned. Keep your chest high, which will just keep your shoulders out of it as much as possible. And I'm absolutely towing. But I went straight into a press. I went palms in, so neutral grip. Elbows tucked in by your side, just to get a little bit more tricep activation in there to help me push right through it. Again, when I push through to the top, I'm not thinking about my wrists here. I'm thinking about bringing my elbows together and squeezing at the top. Again, I didn't really count my reps. I just went for it until I couldn't do any more. And then I moved on to shoulders. So starting with front raises, because as you know, the press isolates the front delts more than anything else. So I started with front raises, palms in. Again, stand tall, pick your 10 rep max and just go till you can't do any more. And this starts getting a little bit tricky pretty quickly. I start jerking pretty soon and I'm struggling. So keep your elbows fixed and bring up in line with your shoulders. And I went straight into the press. I've never known tens be so difficult to press. So stand tall. Again, you've got core involvement in this as well. Neutral grip, so palms facing in or towards your ears. Take your pick, whatever you want to call it. Elbows tucked in, and then drive through straight to the top. And just rep it through until you can't do any more. I didn't get many. I know I didn't get many. I was towing at this point. But that's what I'm looking for. And then I moved on to some metabolic training. All I did with this metabolic style training, I picked an exercise that I can feel best on fatiguing that muscle. Okay? I shortened the range. I shortened the last third of the movement. I forgot about that and just repped and repped and repped and repped and repped. And just till I couldn't do any more. At this point, when you start burning, that's when you keep going. And I did 2 sets rather than just the 1 set. So I moved on to the opposite side. You can see here that I'm not in full range. I'm in kind of the mid-range towards the last third where the deepest contraction will be. And believe me, this gets you pumped. Plenty of blood in there. So just keep repping, and keep repping. So you can see I'm starting to struggle. But I just try and get the last few. I'm literally in tears. Loads of reps. Go on. There we go. And then I went straight to some pulls. Again, you can see my biceps aren't, or my elbows aren't at complete extension. And I'm not letting my shoulders go. I'm keeping my shoulders tucked back. My chest is high. And I'm in the last sort of third to 2/3 of the movement, keeping the tension on my muscles. And again, I'm just repping and I'm just repping and I'm just repping until I can't do any more. And again, 2 sets of this, keeping your back straight, tuck your elbows in as you're pulling through. And believe me, this gets very tough very quick. Make sure you give this a try, guys. You'll absolutely love it. And then I finished with some side lateral raises. And again, you can see I'm kind of more in the mid-range here. So I've took the bottom third and the top third off. And I'm just sticking in that mid-range, keeping the tension on the side delts, keeping shoulders pinned back, standing tall. And just, again, just repping and just repping and just repping until you can't do any more. And you can see, look, I'm absolutely knackered. And I start rocking a little bit, but that's what you want. Just keep going and keep going and keep going until you can't do any more. If you're not pulling a face, you're not working hard enough. And then I went into some direct ab work. I start with the lower abs because, as we know, that is the hardest. I did 3 sets to failure on each. Again, show me your bum. If you haven't got that tilt in your hips to get your bum through, you are predominantly working hip flexor and not your abs. Okay? Squeeze at the top. And then one of my favourites, the cable crunch. I see so many people doing this wrong. It is unreal. I see too many people moving at the hips when you should really be keeping your hips completely fixed. Okay? Your hips do not move and you are literally moving in the trunk to get that nice squeeze on the abs. And there we go. And there we go, guys. Workout done for today. And it's pretty standard that I'm absolutely knackered again. But that's it. So make sure on these workouts that you are pushing yourself right up to your limit. Okay, so if you're not, please do. Otherwise, you will just not progress or get to where you want to be. Alright, but like I said, that's the workout done. Episode 4 will be out next week, which we are going back to a strength workout. Okay, so leave me your thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel to be the first to see episode 4 next week. And that's me done for today, guys. So until next time, I'll see you then.